Hey folks, Matt from artoftheimage.com. Got a great question in here from Dylan Barlad. Dylan says, why a Nifty 50 for filming? I was obviously talking about this in a previous video, and so he's asking why. And there's four reasons just off the top of my head why a 50 for filming. And when he's asking about filming, I'm assuming he's talking more about video versus, when you're filming something, that's typically what you mean. It's, throwback from the old days when we were shooting film on things. But most of these reasons are applicable to both photography and video. So it's not really an either or. All these things fit. First off is the speed of the lens. So this is, the Nifty 50s typically, what that refers to is your 50mm f1.8s or close proximity. The value priced lenses that perform well above their price point. So the Canon 50mm f1.8 STM, the Nikon 50mm f1.8G, the AFS lens. There's also the older AFD, which is still really good, just doesn't work on the newer bodies without the built-in autofocus motor, such as your 5000 series and your 3000 series. When I say it doesn't work for autofocus. And then you've got, for instance, the new 25mm f1.7 from Panasonic in the Micro Four Thirds system. That's essentially a Nifty 50. It's a very economically priced lens, and with the 2x multiplier, it's a 50mm f1.7. That's what they are aiming that lens at. They're giving you the equivalent in a 50mm. So these are lenses that don't cost a lot of money in terms of what you can spend on some primes. You get compare it to a 50mm f1.2L from Canon for price. You see why they're very good value, because they're delivering a reasonably fast aperture at f1.8 at a very small price, $100 to $200 here. I think the Canon 50mm f1.8 is around $125. Nikon's a little more expensive. It also performs and is built a little better, but there's trade-offs there. It costs less for the Canon, and it still does very well. So, that's the speed. You're getting f1.8, more light gathering ability, and then related to that gives you our second point, which would be shallower depth of field, because it is an f1.8 or f1.7 lens. So you get better light gathering ability, but you get, shallow depth of field for portraits, or if you're shooting video and you get the background out of focus, the ability to do that. And that's definitely worth something. That's why we buy these lenses. The other thing is, the 50mm is basically a standard lens, we call it. It's kind of your standard. Used to come standard with cameras in the older days, and they're very sharp. They're very easy to make because there's not a lot of technical wizardry going on to make that lens. It's a very standard, basic lens to make. It doesn't require a lot of craftsmanship and a lot of internal parts. It's a very simple lens to build and design in terms of comparing it to other lenses like zooms and ultra wides or really long telephotos and things like that. So it doesn't cost a lot to build, and it's not hard to make. So they tend to be very, very sharp for the price as well. So you're getting speed, very fast, light gathering ability, the ability at the maximum aperture to have shallow depth of field and that nice creamy out of focus background. You're getting a very sharp lens pretty much across the board. Most of the Nifty 50s are pretty sharp. And cost. The cost is very low in comparison to anything anywhere near comparable. So they're very economical, and they deliver great value. All this performance for a relatively very low price. So that's why you would choose a Nifty 50 for filming. What do you guys think? Have I missed something? Is there another reason you'd choose a Nifty 50 for filming or for photos? Let me know in the comments below. What's your favorite Nifty 50? Let me know that in the comments below. I love all. I think if I had to pick one, it's kind of strange because I don't even own it. I have it here for review, but probably my favorite Nifty 50. Actually, I guess technically it's not a Nifty 50. My favorite 50 is the Nikon 50mm f1.2 AIS. Now, for a Nifty 50, probably my favorite would be the Nikon 50mm f1.8G AFS. And the reason for that is it's probably one of the sharpest lenses in the entire Nikon arsenal. It's at a very reasonable price, around $200, and it's just a beautiful lens. Punches I think it's actually sharper than the f1.4G. It's just not quite as fast, but it's still plenty fast. I mean, you can't, at $200, it's opening up a whole new world to you. So that's probably my favorite Nifty 50. My favorite 50 would be the 50mm f1.2. Obviously a lot more expensive. But what's your favorite 50? What's your favorite Nifty 50? Let me know in the comments below. Let's discuss it. Thanks for your question, Dylan. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be back soon here at artoftheimage.com.